Good afternoon. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thanks so much for coming. Welcome to this afternoon in conversation with Andy Lau. Thanks for being here. My name is Cameron Bailey. I'm the CEO here at TIFF, and it's my pleasure to welcome you. We always like to begin by taking a moment to remember where we are, the land that we're on, and its history. We're located on the treaty lands and territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit and the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, the Wendat, and the Haudenosaunee. And this land that we're on is within the lands protected by something called the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, and it's home to many First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We're grateful to be here on this land and to be presenting the work of Indigenous artists as often as we possibly can. I want to thank some of the people in the organizations who make everything we do possible. We like to bring to you the brightest lights in film as often as we can, and we're lucky to do that thanks to the support of our members and our donors. Maybe some of you here today. Thank you if you are a donor or a member to TIFF. Also, we want to thank our lead sponsor, Bell, and our major sponsors, RBC, Bulgari, and Visa. And we also get support from all three levels of government: the Government of Ontario, Telefilm Canada, and the City of Toronto for their continued support. And a big thanks to Visa. This conversation today is part of our In Conversation with series at the festival. We've had some great people here, and we're thrilled to have Andy Lau here as well. We want to thank Visa, and also thanks to the Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office and Hong Kong Tourism Board for their support of today's event as well. One quick reminder before we bring out our moderator. We've been asked to remind you to refrain from flash photography during the event. I would ask you to refrain from screaming, but I think that's pointless. So I'll just ask you to not use your flash. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce your host for today's conversation. Patience. Jennifer Hsiung is the co-anchor of CP24 Breakfast, Toronto's #1 watched morning show. In 2008, Hsiung left Toronto for Beijing and became one of the youngest sports anchors for the world's largest broadcaster, China Central Television. She covered 2 Olympic Games and with the station's all-English language channel CGTN, and also became host of their flagship arts and entertainment show. Hsiung has also hosted exclusive interviews with some of the world's top sports and entertainment figures, and we are thrilled to have her conduct this conversation with Mr. Andy Lau today. Please join me in welcoming Jennifer Hsiung.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Cameron. One more round of applause for Cameron Bailey, CEO of TIFF. He's done an amazing job this year, as always. Okay, so I see some disappointed faces. I know you're all eager to see Andy Lau, but I just want to make a quick introduction to say that I'm so excited and honored to be here today to welcome our very special guest who needs no introduction, really. You all know that Andy Lau is a living legend. He is dominant not just in film, but in music, a multi-talented Hong Kong artist. And I just want to say this is a very special moment that all of us should be very grateful for today, because it is the first time that Andy Lau is back in Toronto for TIFF for the first time in 20 years. Yes, that's a long time. So Mr. Andy Lau has spent his career crossing not only genres but generations. Okay, he's shown that he can melt your heart as a lover in a film. He can crush bad guys, but also play a bad guy and climb the heights of art house indie cinema. He's also one of Asia's biggest pop stars. I can't tell you how many times my father tries to sing his songs at karaoke. Okay, Wang Shui is his favorite one. So there's a few songs, Dad, you're not too bad. But Lau is a leading figure in Asian cinema for the past 4 decades. He's starred in close to 200 films, and he's a natural entertainer, as I mentioned, a multifaceted artist, winning 3 Hong Kong Film Awards for Best Actor, 2 Golden Horse Awards for Best Lead Male Actor, and he's also received the Asian Filmmaker of the Year Award at the 2006 Busan International Film Festival. And I don't think many people know this, but he also holds a Guinness World Record. Yes, and that is for the most awards won by a cantopop male artist. So I don't even think, exactly. I don't even think like Justin Bieber or Drake or The Weeknd have that on him, okay? He's quite legendary in music as well. Andy Lau is the star, of course, of the gala presentation Ning Hao's The Movie Emperor, which yesterday premiered. And he was also awarded a TIFF Special Tribute Award at this year's festival. So I don't want to keep you waiting. Without further ado, yes, we are going to be joined now by Andy Lau for an in-depth conversation about his latest film, as well as his amazing career as an actor, producer, and celebrated cantopop singer, songwriter. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, make some noise, and welcome Mr. Andy Lau. Nice to see you. Wow, look at that. People have made signs. It's like a Raptors basketball game or a sporting event. It's amazing to see your fans. So Andy, let's start the conversation by talking about your early beginning as an actor. Like many Hong Kong stars, you started your career as a television actor for TVB, Television Broadcast Limited. What were the most influential kind of lessons from your time acting on TV that you were able to bring into film?
首先先谢谢大家啊 Thank you for being here with me, P. Enjoyed it. 首先我想说一下，其实我是参加电视台的一个 training cast 的，它是大概在1980年。然后我81年是毕业了，然后就没有在电视没有什么地方给我表演。其实我是先拍戏的，Boat People，
对
，by Anne Hui，it's around 82, I think.
Yes.
So first, I participated in a training program from TVB. That was in 1980. And then in 81, I graduated for that program. But at the time, there was no space for me in TV. So I actually started in film with Anne Hui's The Boat People.
Yes, and we're going to see a clip from Boat People coming up. Now, during this period, 就是1980年, 1980s, of course, we witnessed the rise of a new film movement referred to as the Hong Kong New Wave. What do you think this made this era of film so special from what came before it, both as an actor and a filmmaker and a film lover, I should say? And what was it like to be part of this community of filmmakers and actors in this kind of time of the Hong Kong New Wave?
其实我从小就跟表演就是有关系。我以前是编剧。那后来就看到电影有很多新浪潮的一些导演，他们就出现了很多影响到我的电影，然后后来我就特别喜欢，就跟一些朋友参加了那个训练班，那一直就很快，就好像刚才说的那个投奔怒海，就跟那些新浪潮的那些导演搞在一起了，
搞在一起，
然后就发现其实每一个年代都需要有一些新的、不一样的导演出现，去冲击这个市场。
So I've always been
yes.
Since a very young age, I've always taken part in entertainment. At first, I was a scriptwriter, screenwriter, and I actually just mingled with the new wave directors at the time, and many of those movies influenced me. That's why I took part in the training program, and I was friends with many of the directors from the new wave, and I was basically mingling with them day in and day out. And I believe each period we need new film and new trends in order to push forward, just keep pushing the envelope of film.
So you were part of that initial innovation, and it almost felt kind of organic to you that you were part of this movement. So it's kind of hard to realize that you're in a movement when you're part of the engine that's fueling it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
对，就因为不同年代的需要不同的导演，让我们后来就是我86年开始就离开了电视台，86年，然后就进入了电影，然后在那个时间点就碰到很多不同的导演，然后他们给了我很多不同的角色，然后一直到90年开始，我就觉得我需要回馈电影了，
对，
那我就开了我自己的公司，Teamwork 天幕，然后就创作了很多不一样的电影。但那个时候可能会比较难，但是还是出现了很多新的导演。
I believe different periods need different directors. So I actually left TV in '86, and that's when I started doing film. And I was lucky to meet several directors and take on several roles. And in the '90s, I realized that I really want to come back to film, and so I did. And then I also created my own production company. I was able to. It was difficult at the time, but I was still able to create several movies and push forward for several new directors.
Yeah, okay. Awesome. Thank you, Andy, for those answers. So right now, I want to show our audience members and for you to revisit some of the films you've been in. Let's watch a couple of clips from your early work. This includes a scene from your impressive work as To Min in An Hui's Boat People, where your character sheds light on the realities, the harsh realities of the economic zones in Vietnam. And then the second clip that we're going to watch is an iconic scene from Wong Kar-wai's As Tears Go By, which was 1988 film, where your character Hwa reunites, I love the love story, with Maggie Cheung's character Anor. So let's take a look. Okay, Andy, I want to ask you first, when you rewatch some of those scenes, what are you feeling? What do you feel when you rewatch that?
时间过得太快了。
Time goes by too quickly.
Yeah.
比那个时候瘦一点点。
A little bit skinnier than back then. Better looking, says someone.
Yeah, so we saw two iconic movie clips. Now, the clip from Boat People, of course, showed one of your first film roles.
Yes.
Can you talk about your experience working with, new Hong Kong wave actor An Hui about this film? How did you prepare for the role, and what were some challenges that you noticed in this medium of film?
那个是一个非常特别的状况底下，就基本上是没有时间去准备，因为我是忽然间有一天接到一个电话，找我去拍这部戏，然后我在那个时候我从来没离开过香港，然后他说你现在就要去，那我那个时候是在海南岛拍，对，那直接就要坐飞机去那里，然后不管，然后他只是说如果到那里。导演觉得我不行，我就自己回来。
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was really under special circumstances. There was absolutely no time to prep. And I remember I got a call to make this movie, and I had to leave Hong Kong immediately. I had to fly to Hainan, which is a place in China. And the director told me that if you don't do a good job, then you have to just go back to Hong Kong on your own.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
很多压力。Yeah.
就因为这样，就我在那里要到那边的时候，导演就已经就看到我的外形，就被吸引了。我那个时候才21岁，但是我要演一个大概30岁的 的男人，
对，
然后跟没有钱人就是谈恋爱，所以就在那个时候就如果你们看到的那个他是配音的，他觉得我的声音在那个时候太小孩，别，那个太小孩。
So I arrived in Hainan, and then the director saw my face and my appearance, and basically the rest was history. At the time, I was only 21 years old, but I had to play the role of a 30-year-old, and it was to be this great love story. And they decided to use voiceover or dubbing because at the time my voice was too childish, like no, so it didn't work out.
Yeah, like hasn't gone through puberty yet.
No.
Okay, maybe just not mature, because we know that you've been singing. Too good, too pleasant sounding. Okay.
Physically mature.
Physically mature, yeah, not as mature. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about As Tears Go By. Okay, so many people obviously a fan of that film. Now, Wong Kar-wai, the director, he's known for his improvisational filmmaking. He once said to his cast, like he always tells his cast, "I am your safety net. Don't worry, jump, and I will catch you." So what did that support look like for you in the film? Because I know there's a clip we didn't show. Maybe it's too racy when you and Maggie Cheung are kissing in the phone booth after. Was that an example of the improvisation?
王家卫他本来就是我一个在公司上面的好朋友，然后那个时候他是编剧，然后他写了这部戏，就《旺角卡门》，然后后来就因为我蛮喜欢，我真的很喜欢他的视觉，然后那个时候是我不知道大家知不知道，《旺角卡门》的 cameraman 是刘伟强刘伟强，
哇哦！
那所以那个时候这两个人加起来的那种视觉是非常有力量的。然后后来就是我们花了时间找了投资，然后就这个是王家卫第一部电影，然后就从那个时候他就开始创造了另外一部很经典的电影叫《阿飞正传》。
I was very good friends with Wong Kar-wai at the time, and he was actually already a producer in the company, and he was a screenwriter, and he wrote this piece called As Tears Goes By, and I really liked the visual style of that movie. And I don't know if you know, but the cameraman at the time for that movie, the cinematographer, was Liu Weiqiang, so who's a very well-known cinematographer, and the two of them working together just created a really visually striking movie. So we found funding to invest in that movie, and As Years Go By is actually Wong Kar-wai's first movie, and he later made another really powerful piece called Days of Being Wild.
Yes, excellent film. And I believe that film was also one of the first Hong Kong movies to be shown at the Cannes Film Festival as well. So very significant indeed. Okay, last question from your days in early Hong Kong cinema. What was it like at this time working alongside, the golden generation of other actors? I'm assuming some of them were your good friends like Maggie Cheung and fellow Five Tiger Tony Leung.
我觉得在那个年代，其实这是一个非常非常黄金的时间，给我们演员去发展不一样的东西。虽然我们三个人都可能在不同的领域，去表现了自己的能力，但是在那个时候真的是百花齐放的时候。然后我希望就是在今天我们再看到就好像我们今天我带来的那个电影《红毯先生》，他也是在现在的那个年代，希望有一些不一样的东西出现。那个时候我跟他们一起，其实创造了很多不一样的角色，然后我们在不同的领域，然后发展了很多不一样类型的电影，真的非常开心能够跟电影一起走了那么多的日子。
that period was actually a golden period for many of us actors back in Hong Kong. All three of us actors you mentioned, we developed in different spaces of the movie industry, but we were all able to self-actualize and to really grow ourselves in that time. Same thing for the movie that came here with TIFF, the movie Emperor this time. We want to show something different in the times that we live in. And at the time, we created several different rules and we experimented with different types and different genres. I truly feel honored to have been able to journey together with film at that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I work with Johnnie To
Yeah.
many times. 我跟他合作很多很多，然后中间其实刚刚开始的时候，我没有很多跟他是关于就是警察啊，或者是那个我们在跟他一起的大部分都是一些他每一次希望有一些突破的时候，他就会想到我，就会想到我。就是刚刚开始，我们就从《天若有情》的那个时候就跟他合作，然后那个时候他是监制，然后后来就经过了一段时间，其实我们中间真的花了很长时间去了解对方，对。
Okay, so I'll come back to what I said earlier. I actually collaborated quite a bit with Johnnie To on the police genre. And yes, so at a time, every time he wanted to have a breakthrough film, he thought of me. So we worked together on the film Moment of Romance, and we collaborated a lot. And we spent quite a bit of time getting to know each other.
Okay, so without further ado, we're about to watch two more clips. The first one is, of course, from Running Out of Time, directed by Johnnie To. Andy Lau, you play Cheng Hua, a criminal who gets into a taxi cab after he holds a finance company hostage, only to then realize that the taxi is being driven by the Hong Kong police inspector that you are playing the game with in the film. And then the second clip we're going to watch is, of course, the very iconic Infernal Affairs. That was, yes, Hollywood decided to steal, well, not steal that idea, but take from that idea, turn it into their film, and that film won 4 Academy Awards. Matt Damon played your character, Leonardo DiCaprio also in that film. But in Infernal Affairs, your character, Lau Qin-ming, meets Chin Wing-yan, played by Tony Leung, on top of a rooftop in the city to facilitate a crucial exchange. And, you know, both these films are just action-packed and full of all these suspenseful twists and turns. So let's watch. Okay, so Andy, that iconic scene that was shot on the rooftop with your friend Tony Leung, yes. It was very special. Can you take us back to the day that you filmed this scene? What was it like? And did you and Tony know that you were making a film that was going to be such a defining moment for Hong Kong cinema in the 2000s?
我们那个时候真的没想到，因为我们刚刚开始的时候，其实这个剧本在我们手上是有一段时间了。
We probably didn't think of that at the time because the script was given to us and we had it for a little while.
刚刚开始的时候，我们导演他们没有想过要找我跟 Tony Leung。
At the beginning, the director wasn't even sure that they would cast me and Tony Leung.
是因为刚刚开始的时候是我们公司拥有这个版权的，那后来我们等了很久都没有人投资，没有人喜欢这个故事。
So my company actually had the copyright of this film for a while, and then no one seemed to like it that much enough to actually invest in the movie.
那后来就我们找到一个投资人，他就说，如果我跟Tony Leung愿意演的话，他就愿意投资。
So later on, we found an investor, and it was the investor who said, if me and Tony Leung wants to act in the film, then he would want to invest.
到后来我们就找到 Tony， 然后大家就愿意开始了。那我那个时候如果在那个市场的话，我们是一个非常 low budget 的电影，它大概在20 million only。
Wow. So at the time of the film industry, in that period, we found Tony Lau and we decided to make this film. And for that period, this is considered a low-budget film because we made it for around 20 million.
Wow.
Hong Kong dollar, yes.
Hong Kong dollars.
Hong Kong dollars.
Yes. That's impressive. That's very cool.
在我们整个过程，所有人都非常投入，然后每一个人都希望就是付出一点点。我们不停的聊那个剧本，不停的在想到底用什么 location。这天台是我们想了很久，而且那个玻璃幕墙的那个景也是我们真的找了很久。哇哦！对，然后在那个时间也是刚刚是03年嘛，03年也是刚刚有那个SARS 的时候，所以大家都已经在一个非常就是有压力的状况底下。但是我觉得就是每个人如果能够承受那种压力的话，做出来的作品不会差。
So when we did that film, everyone involved was really devoted into the project. Everyone was thinking, what more can we do and what can we put more into the project? And so we were thinking about ideas all the time, and we thought about that rooftop scene. We thought about different points in the film. And the film was made in 2003, and that was around the time when the SARS broke out happened. So people were under a lot of pressure. And the essence is that when you are under a lot of pressure and you still break through, and the project you do would not be a bad project.
Yeah. Well said. Yeah, no, for sure. And staying with this film, Infernal Affairs, I mentioned earlier, it inspired the Hollywood remake, The Departed, Martin Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, and that was Academy Award winning. So why did you think Infernal Affairs connected so well with viewers in Asia and also globally around the world?
我觉得这个是一个可能那个关系吧。我觉得人物的关系很重要，就是因为可能我们这个戏跟Hollywood 的那个电影中间差别，就是我们那个戏的时候，它有一个宗教的一个底蕴，但是他们那个就很注重在人物上面的关系这样。但是人跟人的关系，我觉得在这个世界是没有那个界限的。
I think what captured the film is the relationship between the characters. So the our version and the Hollywood version could be slightly different in the sense that in our version the characters had perhaps a little bit more spiritual sort of tint to it, and versus in the Hollywood version is a more of a relationship. But in any event, it is still relationship between the characters and relationship between human beings, and that's something that has no boundaries.
然后电影其实是一个非常奇怪的一个作品，只要是好导演、好演员，然后好剧本，它就会出现一个很奇怪的一个感觉。它一定会只要我觉得所有人他们都能够。投入就好像我刚才说的那个，他就会成功。
Yeah.
Yeah.
Films are a very special product, and so, like I said before, once you have a good script, you have good writers, you have a good director, and you have good actors, then they get together, and the chemistry between them would somehow magically produce a really brilliant piece.
Yeah. 像做一个好饭一样的，就你需要 all the right ingredients like to make a delicious meal, but they all have to be invested. Okay, and I want to talk about your role in both these films because you're not the typical hero. You actually play villains in both Running Out of Time and Infernal Affairs. So what excited you about playing the bad guy I'll ask you that first, and then I'll ask my follow-up.
其实我从开始的时候，我不知道为什么，就大家都觉得我是好人。
I don't know why at the beginning, everyone thought I am the good guy.
就如果有机会，不管谁找我去演坏人，我都很积极的去参加。
And so when I had opportunity to play a villain, I'm very actively involved.
Okay. So you like the challenge of
Yes,
playing a
yeah,
villain
yeah.
because everyone expects you to be the good guy all the time. Okay, so let me ask you my follow-up question. If you could play another villain today in a new role, describe who or what type of villain that would be. Is it a serial killer? Is it a bomber? Is it, a white-collar crime artist? Like, who is the villain you would like to play still in your career?
就好像 Scarface 的那种。
Scarface, okay.
就大概是那种东西，我觉得就完全在我自己的那个态度，然后我的行为上面是完全，因为我年轻的时候就，我先跟大家。
So maybe I would want to play a villain with a big scar on the face, so that it will be a very different attitude, a very different body movement.
OK 那就我是觉得，如果能够完全改变了那种感觉是非常好的。但是因为我年轻的时候，可能有很多小孩都会看我的电影，所以我会想到就是我不要那么坏，因为有些 parents 他们会觉得刘德华能做的事情，他的小孩都能做这样，所以那个时候会比较压力比较大。但是我现在成熟了，他们小孩就是喜欢，已经没有小孩喜欢我了，就喜欢我都成长了。
They object.
Don't force your child to love me, huh?
Don't force your child.
So maybe when there was a time when I felt that there were children watching my film, there were parents there, that feeling that, if Liu Dehua is doing something on screen, then my children can do that too. So there have been that kind of pressure. And so, but now I'm matured and my audience is matured. So maybe not as many kids are watching this anymore. So now I can do things differently.
Yeah, okay. I look forward to seeing you in that type of role. I think you'd make a great, Scarface, like Al Pacino or something like that. Yes. You've got the look. Okay. Moving on, let's talk about, how you reached new heights in Hong Kong cinema and, mainland Chinese blockbusters and also entertainment. So we're moving into another decade, the 2000s. You began to star in movies like House of Flying Daggers by Zhang Yimou. What kind of opportunities did being in a film like that open up for you? And what was it like to work with a filmmaker like Zhang Yimou, who has a very different methodical approach than, let's say, Wong Kar-wai and Johnnie To?
他们都是一些非常成熟的导演。我跟艺谋认识了很久，我们从80年代就开始认识。我是有一次在他们来参加我们香港的那个颁奖典礼的时候认识的。
I think they're all very matured directors, and I also known Yimou for quite a long time, and I met him when he came to Hong Kong when he was there to attend an award ceremony.
我们一直都有希望可以合作，但是那个时候因为张艺谋的电影大部分都会去参展的那些，所以他们都需要是我们自己去讲，就是要 original 的 language 去说 就不能 dubbing，就是所以普通话他就会，我跟他的合作的机会就少了。
So we had always had this hope that we would collaborate, but for a period that he was focusing his film to attend international film festivals. And so a lot of the films, they wanted original dialect in the sense that was actually said by the actors. And so they would be in Mandarin. And as a result, I would ended up collaborating less with him at that period.
一直到那个时候，我可能真的花了蛮长的时间去练那个普通话。那后来他就觉得 OK， 我就开始跟他合作了。
So I actually spent quite a bit of time learning Mandarin and practice Mandarin. And then he said, well, that's okay now. And so then we started to collaborate.
Yeah, okay. So the film, House of Flying Daggers, I personally think one of the greatest love stories in film today, but it really demonstrated that stories set in Chinese folklore, Chinese culture, could be very successful, not just in Asia, but internationally. So how did you, I know that when the film came out, even that film, you know, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, being a daughter of Chinese immigrants, I felt so proud to have my culture on screen and the world kind of taking it in and appreciating the artistry. So for you, being in that movie, what did you make of the success when you saw it?
就如果以前可能外国会对我们的电影会大部分都是一些艺术片啊，然后后来就是那个卧虎藏龙跟英雄，然后到十面埋伏，他们都用了一个比较商业的态度去推广，然后让大家更清楚地了解到我们中国的文化，然后不管他们从他们不同的角度去表达，他们每一个人都会有他自己的特点的。
I think the international world first saw Chinese culture in more art house movies. And then when Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Crouching Tiger came out, and also Hero came out, and also the House of Flying Daggers came out. I think it came out in a more commercially successful path. And so I think that makes the world look at Chinese culture in a different film setting. I think that is something that is different and made it interesting.
还有就是可能我也不知道，就是为什么我那么幸运，能够在不同的时间跟一些真的非常好的导演一起，然后去让全世界每一个角落都能够看到我们的中国电影这样。
And I don't know why I'm so lucky that I could meet all these great directors at different time and made different movies and be able to let the rest of the world see Chinese culture in those movies.
Well, I think everyone here today can agree because you are an amazing actor and you bring to life so many of your roles, so it's well deserved. Okay.
不好意思。
脸被红了. Okay, so right now we're going to watch two more clips. This is from House of Flying Daggers, in which two rival lovers and double agents, Leo, you play Leo, and Jin, they fight after Zhang Ziyi's character, Mei, has been stabbed with the dagger. And then the second clip we're going to be watching is from Tsui Hark's Detective Dee and the Mystery of the Phantom Flame. In it, Detective Dee, who you play, discovers the plot to murder the Empress. And of course, both these clips have that, you know, very special, breathtaking martial arts action. Let's take a look. Okay, Andy, so I always like to ask you, because I enjoy watching you watch your movie clips.
Really?
I'm wondering what you are thinking. Tell me, when you look back at those complicated choreographed fight scenes, what are you thinking about today when you watch that?
我没想过我做了那么多东西。对啊，可能真的就是在这个演艺圈真的有一段时间，然后就是跟很多很多不同的人走过不同的年代，然后今天能够还是在这里分享回忆，然后展望将来，那这种感觉，非常温暖，对吧？
I actually didn't realize that I did so much throughout my career, just walking alongside the entertainment industry. I've had the chance to work with several individuals, working in several different time periods, and to be able to be here to share and to remember and to look at the future, it's truly very heartwarming.
Yeah, absolutely.
也非常感动你们陪我走过那么长的日子。
Wow.
And I'm very touched that you have all accompanied me on this long journey.
我未来还有很多电影继续支持我哈。
There's more to come, so continue supporting me, please.
Of course, 100%, Andy. So, you know, the roles that you played in these films just shows an example of how much genres you can cross, from fantasy to martial arts, you know, mystery. And you talked about in previous interviews that your role in Detective Dee and Mystery of the Phantom Flame was very challenging for you. What made it so hard?
我觉得每一次我找到那些角色，我都很放心的给导演去。那除了我体能上面需要一种比较高的挑战，我觉得有导演，我们就有可能性。
Every time I entirely trust the director. Physically, of course, that was quite challenging for me, but with the right director, then we have all the possibilities.
And I understand early in your career, you did some martial arts training and learning Kung Fu. For people watching these fight scenes, I'm sure many people are curious. Unlike in the movie Emperor, where you were so proud to do your own stunt on a horse, but in these films, like how many stunts would you say are yours, and how many is like a stunt person?
我对所有动作的那些戏，我是尽量自己去配合，然后我会在拍之前准备好，然后如果在现场，如果真的有感觉我自己会有什么问题的话，我就会跟导演沟通，因为这个是非常重要的。那我们要保持好我们的身体，然后那个电影才是很完整的完成。
For all of the action sequences, I actually try my best to always do them myself. So before the shoot, I would prepare. And if on set I feel any kind of worries, then I would communicate with the directors. That's really important because we need to protect our body as actors to be able to have a complete, basically a complete movie at the end.
就虽然我们能完成那种动作，我们会真的好骄傲，但是我们也会想到，就是如果我们受伤，在我们身边的人都会很担心。因为我曾经摔马，就差不多在医院停留了大概6个月。
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Even if we do, let's say we do complete a stunt by ourselves, and we're really proud at the moment, but it can cause injury, and it will be everyone around us would be worried. Once I fell off a horse, and I spent 6 months in a hospital.
Wow, okay. So it's almost very true to the movie yesterday when you fell off the horse,
Yes.
but you didn't get as injured in the movie, but in real life you did. Okay, so I know, Andy, you've also been in major Hong Kong and Chinese mainland blockbusters, such as Shockwave and Wandering Earth 2. How do you see the future of filmmaking in China and Asia as we recover from the pandemic? And, you know, we've been seeing in recent years this trend of co-productions. Are you a fan of those, or do you think that dilutes the films?
电影其实是需要有很多不同的合作， 就不管是我们东方的、西方的，我觉得co-production 是一个大的趋向，因为市场会比较大，然后我们可以尝试不一样的制作的电影。
Yeah, film needs to have several layers of collaboration. It could be from the West to the East, as an example. And co-production is indeed a really big trend at the moment because you can access to a bigger market.
但是我觉得每个地方都需要有他自己很独特的一种电影题材或者是方向。
But I believe each region needs to have its own cinematic theme and orientation.
就好像我们这一次的红毯先生。
For example, the movie Emperor this time.
Yeah.
TIFF.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's great. And Andy, I want to circle back to something you've said in interviews before about how you felt like Hollywood wasn't appreciative of Asian actors in cinema. We've been seeing a trend, not just with East Asian actors, but Hollywood is becoming more diverse with its representation. Do you still feel that way? Do you think that one day you'd want to be in, let's say, a Hollywood movie?
我从来没有反对，或者是感觉Hollywood 的市场它在亚洲电影的那个动力，我觉得他们也希望有不一样的演员在他们的电影里面出现。我是随时准备好的，只要他们觉得。只要他们觉得他们准备好就好了。
I never felt like Hollywood was going into the Asian movie market, and I believe that for one, I'm ready for Hollywood. So as long as they're ready for me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. I would love to see that. And Andy, you've shown, your versatility across so many genres and different movies. But outside of film, I'm sure many people know, of course, you're also a highly celebrated canto pop singer. Yes. And I asked you before we sat down today, like, did singing come first? Did acting come first? Was it the chicken or the egg? And you said, well, actually, you've been singing all your life, that you would sing in bars because there was no other kind of theater or venue for it. And then film came along. So, you hold the Guinness World Record for most awards by a male artist, a canto pop artist, and you recently performed a concert in Mandarin on TikTok's sister platform, Douyin, and it attracted 350 million views. So I got to ask you, what's it like to straddle both these industries and to do it on the scale that you've done it?
非常非常难回答的问题
Hard one to answer.
我都喜欢，我喜欢唱歌，我也喜欢演戏，是因为我喜欢跟不同的人沟通，用不同的方法。
I like both, actually. I like singing and I like acting because I like to communicate in different ways with different people.
Even 在我的歌迷会啊、影迷会啊，他们都会有些人忽然间跟我说：“我喜欢你电影，我不喜欢听你唱歌。”很奇怪。
To the point that sometimes I would organize fan meetups for singing, and they will come up to me and say, I actually like you acting. I don't like you singing.
I don't know why. No. 但是我真的很喜欢做，因为它有不一样的一个成就感。那电影它是整体的，而且它是可以表达一个比较宏观的概念。
But I really truly enjoyed this multimodal mode. The rewards are different depending on singing or acting. And for film, you can have this big picture approach.
但是如果是唱歌的话，这个非常自我的一个表现。我可以随便在舞台上面我哭、我笑、我乱倒、我怎么样都可以。那电影它是需要有一个 不一样的感觉，对。
And for singing, the stage for singing is basically self-expression. I can laugh, I can cry, I can roll on the floor, I can just be myself. But film is different, of course.
Yeah. And of course, you can dance. You have some good dance moves as well. I think
so. Everybody can dance.
Okay, Andy, I won't embarrass you further. So right now, let's watch a clip from that record-breaking performance on the Douyin platform. Here's you performing the song Love You 10,000 Years. Let's take a look. Woo. Wow. Oh, you're
很快
fans.
很快有演唱会哈。
A concert is coming up. says
Okay, very exciting. Okay, so Andy, before we move on to the movie that premiered last night, the movie Emperor, very quickly, let me ask you, when it comes to singing and acting, both, as you've said, is a form of expression, a form of telling a story using these mediums. What do you think has helped you more? Does singing help you act more, or does acting help you sing better?
I think both way.
Both, just constantly.
我觉得它是就我们唱歌的时候，可以把我们自己的感情放进去，然后比较真实，就让我的表演会接近不是在歌唱表演，那可以真的是跟大家共同的去经历那种感觉。那回过头是，当有一些很完整的音乐的时候，只要它放出来，它就会能够把我的感情带进那个处境里面。
Both ways, actually, both influence each other. For singing, of course, it brings out emotions, and I'm very authentic in a moment. It's a moment where we get to experience together. And conversely, the same, when the song is played, I am taken back to those feelings, and I'm taken back, I relive it.
Okay.
So, 我觉得都好，我也不知道怎么选，就跟对我老婆跟我女儿就是不知道怎么选。
Both are good. Like my wife and my daughter, who do I choose?
Yes,
both are good.
It's a good example. Okay,
Yeah.
Andy, moving on. So yesterday, your film that's premiered at TIFF, the movie Emperor, was shown, and I know a lot of people here today probably went and saw it yesterday. Also, director Ning is here as well. So how did you work on, there he is, hello. How did you work on, there he is, yes. Yes. And obviously you guys are good friends, but how did you come to work together on this movie? Because I know there was kind of a challenge. You wanted to do something kind of like a comedy, but this is a very satirical movie. So why did you decide to work together on this film?
我们认识了一段蛮长的时间，然后他是我在一些电影节里面认识的一些幕后重要的人物那样。
Well, we've known each other for quite a long time, and we've seen each other at festivals, and he is an important person behind the scenes.
我们准备要一起去做一些 project 的时候，其实很多年了，但是中间好像老是没有 link 起来，就是那个就不知道为什么。那一直到有一次的颁奖典礼的时候，他就来找我，然后讲了这个故事给我听，然后我就觉得非常有趣味。那它里面的他讲了一个名字给我听。那个名字就叫刘伟慈，就是那个主角的名字，然后那个名字就包括了刘德华、梁朝伟跟周星驰。那如果我一个人能做3个人的事情，太好了。
So we were thinking about collaborating on a project for a very long time, and we actually had different candidates, and then it just never really made the connection. And so at this particular film festival, then at this festival, he came and he told me this story. And I thought, oh, this is an interesting story. Especially there was a part of it that he told me the name of the character is going to be Liu Weichi. So it's Lau from
Andy Lau.
Andy Lau.
Yeah.
And then there's Wei, which is part
Tony
of
Lau.
Tony Lau. And then there's also Chi, which is part of Stephen Chow.
Ah.
So I figure if I can be one person representing three of us, that is a pretty good character.
That is a pretty good character. Okay, so for those of you who didn't get a chance to watch the movie Emperor yesterday, last night, we're going to play a clip from the movie right now. Let's take a look. Yeah. Yes, it's a brilliant movie, and it talks about all the pretense in the movie industry and kind of information technology and the rise of, I guess, the internet and how that's complicated filmmaking. But I want to talk about this role for you because you play an actor, a grade A actor who's on a mission for that role that's going to give you kind of relevance again. And in the film, like you're trying to go after this Best Actor award. So in real life, we know that you've won countless, awards for singing, but also Best Actor. Do you think validation from the movie industry distracts you, or does it motivate you when you take on a role for a movie?
奖项其实是一种很奇怪、很miracle 的东西，因为我觉得它好像推动了每一个演员他往一个方向走。但是反过来，奖项是不是那么重要？又好像不是那么重要，因为每一次只要颁奖完了，明年就会有一个新的了。那其实这个跟我们生活是一样。 每天太阳都会升起来，然后也会躲起来。对，所以这只是一个其中的生活，但是奖项是一个推动力。然后这个戏里面的我，跟我现实生活的我没什么大分别。
Well, an award is in some ways a motivation, and it could make someone to act and make a movie in a certain direction. But on the other hand, the award itself is not that important because you have an award, and when the award ceremony is over, there's going to be one next year. So it's kind of like life. The sun rises every day, and sometimes it hits away. So it is movies that gets award, but on the other hand, awards does motivate people and pushes people to work harder. So you see the character in the movie, and he is somewhat similar to me in some ways.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's very interesting to watch the movie and you take on this role where you show so much of your vulnerability, just not be afraid to be embarrassed or anything like that by taking on this role. So I really appreciated that. But in the movie Lau Weichi, you play a man who's very paranoid about being watched by the cameras. Now, you spent 40 years in the media spotlight. How do you manage your relationship with the media and kind of keep your private life private? Is the media kind of a nuisance to you? Have you worked out how to kind of play to it to your advantage?
我觉得sincere真诚就可以了，因为你很难藏，就是因为真的时间长了，你很难躲起来。就是你有什么，他们真的每一秒钟都可能会发现。我觉得真诚是很重要，对。
I think sincerity is really important because after a very long period, it's very difficult to hide something.
Yeah.
So I think sincerity is something that makes you be able to carry yourself for a longer time.
Life lesson, be a good boy and don't do drugs. Okay, just keep it honest. Okay, and Andy, before we get to some of our audience questions, because I do want to get to those, I just want to ask you, you know, you've starred in over 160 films, close to 200. You know, when you sometimes watch a movie and it stays with you after, you will think about that movie for a long time. Is there a movie you've made, out of all the movies you've made, where it still haunts you today, it still has this grip on you?
我有的，就是我有一部叫《瘦身男女》的电影，
Okay.
我演一个胖子，我那个戏我特别喜欢，我也不知道为什么，然后那个戏，我到今天还是想再拍一次，
Oh, wow.
但是我没有执行这个事情。
Yes, there is such a movie. It's a movie called A Couple on
Love on Diet?
Love on Diet. So I played a really overweight person. And that's something that I thought was really interesting to play. And I kind of want to do it again. And never really had the opportunity.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so Andy, thank you for those answers. I do want to get to some of our audience questions, some that came to us, but we'll get to the live audience in a moment. So an anonymous person would like to know, are there any qualities or things you found as an actor that have been lost due to the change in technology for making films?
我觉得这个没有问题。我觉得这个出现就是科技嘛，那所以我不管那些，就表演是我们自己的，不管就是 technology 会变成怎么样，我觉得那个是可以，我觉得它是帮助，它不会影响到我。
I don't think that is a problem. I think, yeah, there's technology, but I think acting is still acting. I think we still have to do our parts as actors. And I think in some ways the technology could even help.
Okay, interesting. And next up, this person asks, what inspired you to work on this year's art exhibition in Hong Kong that you recently presented to the world?
For fun. 我就是想做一些不一样的东西，就每一次可能每一次要逃出自己的那个 comfort zone 吧。我觉得每个人都需要这样的尝试。
Well, I did it for fun. I think I just want to do something different. I think everyone has that need to do something out of our own comfort zone and to try to do something different and something new. And
Okay. And another person is asking, what has kept you motivated and acting and working so hard throughout your career? Good answer. The fans.
Yes.
Okay, very important. And finally, do you set specific goals for yourself in the future to keep growing and developing further? And if so, what is your next goal in your career?
To be a director.
I like it. Simple to direct. Okay, very cool. And now we would like to open up the floor to some audience members. I think I saw the lady with the poster. If we can get a microphone to her. Yeah, you can stand up.
Thank you, Andy, for coming to Toronto. I just want to let you know, I watched your films Infernal Affairs 1, 2, and 3 just upstairs in this cinema theater like a few months ago. It was a terrific success. All my foreign friends are talking about the Buddhism, the human nature in it. Yeah. So, and my question is, do you have a top 3 movie list that really inspire you or you really love? that you want to share with the
My
audience? Yeah. Anything. Yeah.
The first one， 他刚才说的那个瘦身男女，然后第二就是那个无间道了，然后第三就是我还是喜欢 Boat People， 还是我第一部。
Yeah.
这样对。
Wow. Okay. How about let's get someone in. Oh, sorry. Answer. Yes.
Sorry. So like the movie I mentioned before, the Love on Diet, I still quite like that movie, and also the Infernal Affairs, and after all, I also really like Boat People.
Okay. I'll get to the front. I feel so bad. Let's do someone in the center, in the back over there, with her hand up, with the gray.
Hi, Andy. Welcome to Toronto. We absolutely love you here. Woo! I just wanted to ask you, so for all the younger generation who really are inspired by you and look up to you, what would be your message to them?
Be yourself.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Whenever you feel something, then you pick your own choice and work hard on that. Aim high. And I think it's the key to success.
Thanks.
Okay. This lady in the front row.
他在我们家用磁带巡回播放来生缘，然后我就觉得我才上小学就已经被洗脑了，然后这么多年过去了，磁带也已经被淘汰了，我姐姐也在慢慢变老，可是我今天看到刘德华先生还是刘德华，还是那个刘德华。
So you mentioned our moderator mentioned that her father listens to his song Wang Shui and do that at karaoke. So I actually have an older sister who listens to a cassette of one of his songs, and so I felt when I was a little girl, I was brainwashed because the cassette would be on all the time. So now that my sister is getting a lot older and cassettes are gone, but Liu Dehua is still and always Liu Dehua.
That 刘德华。我的问题是刘先生，就是我知道您今年获得了就是 TIFF 特别给您颁发的特别贡献奖，而且这个奖应该是 TIFF 有史以来首次颁给中国电影人。那您觉得您对电影界的贡献是什么
？So my question is, I know that TIFF has just awarded you a special contribution award, and I also know that this is the first time that this award has been given to a Chinese film industry person. So my question is, what do you think is your contribution to movie industry?
我不可以说我有什么贡献，但是我从来没有离开过，我一直跟他走到今天，也陪他们走到将来。
I cannot say I have a lot of contribution, but I would say that I have spent time and I have accompanied the movie industry through time. And so, and I shall be do that in the future as well.
Okay. I see over back there with the white poster.
我好激动啊！
I'm very excited.
刘先生，您是我爸妈就是最喜欢的，对。然后我今天是替我爸妈来的，然后对，然后就是我能要个签名吗？
什么？
签名 autograph.
OK。
Mr. Liu is my parents' favorites, and my parents are here with me. Could I have your autograph, please?
I'm okay.
Ask a question, please.
是大会大会愿意吗？
哦，然后就是您最喜欢的一首，就是您的歌是哪一首？
我的歌，
What's your
对
favorite，song？
就是这么多年。
我的歌，我不知道大家认不认识，就是那个，我会说练习。
My own favorite song is called 练习. I believe the English translation is practice.
Practice. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, let's take one more from the girl over here in the green.
Hello， 華仔你好，我係善陽啊。我好想問你咧。
廣東話 Cantonese.
Cantonese is it Cantonese okay？
Okay.
Thank you.
最好
Yes 咁啱啱咧，頭先你都講到咧，8月嘅時候喺香港做咗一個藝術展覽啦。我相信咧，身在多倫多嘅唔同嘅 Chinese speaking 嘅觀眾都好希望你會唔會有機會同好多世界唔同或者北美嘅 artist 一齊合作咗啲 collaboration 啦，將你嘅 art exhibition 帶嚟多倫多，同埋你嘅演唱會唔會有機會喺多倫多做啊？
So the question is that Mr. Lau had mentioned that in August he had collaborated with an art exhibition in Hong Kong. So would it be possible, it would be great if you can collaborate it with more artists internationally and perhaps bring art exhibitions in Toronto? And also, would it be possible to have another concert in Toronto?
跟同唔同嘅藝術家合作係我一路未來嘅方向嚟嘅。我希望會好定時咁，每一段時間可能 every 2 years 咁會有個 exhibition。咁希望可以同世界唔同各地唔同嘅藝術家一齊合作。多倫多當然係有機會啦。
It is one of my goals to collaborate more with different artists internationally. So it is definitely something that collaborating with artists is definitely something that I'm looking forward to do in the future. And of course, Toronto would be a great candidate for it.
Yeah.
Save your money. Concert. Concert is coming.
That's awesome. Okay.
And a concert is coming.
Oh, I'm sure your fans are so happy to hear that. We have one more question from the lady in the glasses and about 30 seconds to wrap it up because we do have to get on. Yes. Oh. What kind of film you would direct?
I have no idea at all. 我尽量想一想，可能是喜剧吧 ，comedy。
A comedy. Okay. All right. Andy, thank you so much for being with us today. I'm sorry we couldn't get to all your questions. One more time for Andy Lau. And